How to interrogate with the skill of a master. 1. Listen first. 2. Know that silence is not a superpower, stillness is. 3. The trick to use silence when people make excuses or lie or are misguided in their approach. When you use silence against prying, deflection, obfuscation, blaming, transference, frustration, or faulty understanding, the most prominent, it becomes a word's mirror. If you speak back to bad information, you create opportunities for it to perpetuate. Alternatively, if you cannot answer direct questions, either it is need to know, privileged rank, personal,
not required to dispense, significant, subject does not want to answer question when it is expedient to do so, or wise, or they may suffer from anxiety or fear. So how do you avoid making mistakes? Study behavioral psychology. A precedes B, precedes C, precedes D. Someone may not want to answer questions because they are under duress, have been stalked, harassed, lied to, or violated, or they may have a misguided understanding. On the other hand, someone who is concealing information to invade an investigation will have entirely different behavior markers. Evasion, confidence, fear, misguided, fear, evasion, exaggeration, fear, misguided, honesty to a fault, evasion, resistance, fear, misguided, willingness. Just a few examples.
It should be understood that most people have the capacity to self-reflect, take inventory, and improve the areas of their life where they are lacking. All honest, healthy people are capable of doing this. Alternatively,
those that deflect, obfuscate, and evade have no capacity to self-reflect and tend more towards manipulation. I think by any measure of a competent psychoanalyst, they would agree that certain actions have thresholds that render cyclic mental processes 100% incapable of change, self-reflection, self-correction, and growth. These types instead constantly ridicule, berate, spy, rubberneck, sow rumors, and do anything they can to avoid taking an honest look at themselves. It would be far too simple to simply label the doomed criminal a narcissist. However, the profile of the same is often that of a lifelong criminal fugitive.
take the two traits most miss about true narcissists. It is not mere conceit or self-absorption that marks the narcissist, but rather taking undue credit and demanding everyone accept their grossly delusional manifestation of their superego, tailored self-image. The narcissist seeks to control with exactitude their public image and will do many and insidious things in order to defend the lie that protects them from reality. Now, distinction. Severe narcissists do this to not face consequences. Non-severe narcissists do this to avoid their actual social impression. On sociopaths. Sociopaths are often thought to be the worst of the worst. This is often because of the methodology of their control dynamic. Sociopathy stems mostly from two roots: the fear of being alone or abandoned, or the fear of losing love or respect. Sociopath doesn't necessarily need to manifest as a socialite. Far from it. If the sociopath manages their overbearing nature, they make great leaders, and this role keeps them from the fears of exclusion and abandonment and losing love. 1. On psychopaths. The root word of psycho is psyche, or our mental mode of being. Psycho, when absent adjectives, simply means higher brain function or category scores. The word psycho has no negative connotations until you attach adjectives to it. The biggest misconception about psychopaths is that they feel no emotion or are reckless. This is actually not the case. Psychopathy is characteristic of higher thought, so they tend to be coldly analytical and calculating. There is a tendency by some groups to demonize, simply because they are thorough and precise in their approach. The common perception of a psychopath is that of a violent, raging individual that does not care about anything, when this is actually the behavior of the liar that has been exposed and has no recourse, or the honest person who does everything right but gets slandered, defamed, attacked, manipulated, and scapegoated anyway.
When I wrote my book, How to Be a Damn Fine Social Liar, one of the earliest things mentioned in it was living the highest principles and accepted all times and all places that could belong to anything. But if you are empathetic overload, and you cause people passing judgment, or at least willing to make up for it when you make a mistake, hopefully you don't have to.